Maybe you dropped out of school and you are asking, am I going to succeed in life? Hell yes. And I'm going to show you how in this series. Hi, my name is Mrs. 𝗟𝗲𝗦𝗃𝗧𝗏, and I welcome you into another episode of Life Unscripted. In Life Unscripted, I share with you how you can become a student for life over academic session or school system in order that you achieve optimum and sustainable success. And that being said, if it is your first time on my channel, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell to get a notification when the next content drops. And if it is your first time on Facebook or on Instagram, hit that follow button because that is one of the best decisions you're going to make in your life this year and beyond. Of course, I'm going to share with you why in this series. Now, there are a lot of people who have dropped out of school, maybe probably because of finance and different things. And I'm going to share with you my story. Yes, a lot of people know I made a first class, but at some point, I even wanted to make that decision in my 200 level. As of then, I didn't even know what it means to actually defer my admission. I just was so not emotionally stable and financially capable to go ahead, right? But at the end of the day, thank God for good association, thank God for strong will, and thank God for his presence in my life that always directs me. And I was able to give myself an opportunity, and here we are. Now, one of the questions you need to ask anytime you feel like you are failing in school is to find out a likely story of people who went from zero to hero. It's very, very important because when you study the autobiographies of people, you'll find out that many successful people actually dropped out of school, but they did not drop out of learning. Check the story of Elon Musk. Check the story of Henry Ford. Name them. How many of them you can actually find out that they actually found out their purpose. And when they found out their purpose, that what they are looking for is not in school, they had to leave school to be able to fight for it. So you will see that they were actually educated but didn't finish school. It is not me advising you not to finish school. Of course, if the course you are studying is based on your calling, you are right on track if that is what the structure system enables you to. But if not, you can actually get certified courses, you can get professional courses outside four walls of an institution, and of course, you are able to achieve. At the end of the thing, it is beyond success but fulfillment that you are seeking for, and that can only come from a point of doing your assignment that you are called to do. And so, how do you actually fail in school and win in life? This is the second part of this, and I hope you enjoyed the first part actually. And so in this series, I'm just going to share with you one very critical thing you have to pay attention to. Looking at the fact that these people are educated, but most of them did not finish school, does not make them less successful. What actually makes them successful? It means that you need to redefine your concept of success, because your concept of success is not tied to just academic excellence. Because if you tie it to academic excellence, afterwards, and you never get admission or any afterwards, if you did not get a job or something to do or start doing your work and getting promotion, you're on your way to frustration. So, to what end it is about success in life, you need to redefine that concept. And so, one of the basic things that separate these people who dropped out of school but never dropped out of learning is their hunger to stay, is their ability to stay hungry and foolish. Because a man of vision will always remain foolish in the eyes of people who are yet to understand till it manifests. And so most of the time when you are talking, people don't even understand you. Yes, you might be in the school and you are engaging personal development more than you want to even be in the classroom, and people are saying you that you are over sabi, you too they do, you are doing all of those things. But when the time it begins to pay, those people that are mocking you will be the one that will come and be your student. It's amazing how these things happen. Why? Because a redefinition of success comes in when you understand that what makes a student is someone who is eager to learn. And when you are eager to learn, your teachability index now becomes on a scale of when you are able to learn and your willingness to actually act. Because a lot of people, even coaches who are online, they teach based on what they saw, what they know, what they heard, what they think sharing knowledge on a very note today. If you become a student for life, you will go deep. That's why you go deep on research in finding out what is very people who may not have been able to finish school. What is that thing that actually made them successful? You see, it is not school system. It is actually them being in the realm of their calling and staying hungry enough to be competent and be the best, be a step ahead. But now, even when we are talking about encouraging you for personal development, you are seeing it as motivation. And of course, there is no amount of motivation that can ever equal education. And so education, like I told you, is a personal decision and a personal responsibility. And that's why, because you have not really developed this hunger for study and discipline to learn, that is why when you see people who are reading books, you start making them feel like they are useless with their lives. When you see people who are engaging personal development, you think that they are just trying to show off one or two things. No, that's not true. That's not true, because personal development is actually the right kind of education that you need, because we pay attention to study our subject and then forget to study ourselves in order to navigate life, which is where the main study is. That's why most of the time you come out confused, you come out as though you have never started life before. Why? Because the essence of education is to be able to shape identity. But because you did not engage education for what it is, you just went to school. So you need to be able to understand the power of what I'm sharing with you. Because until you begin to engage education, you will not be able to sap out that which is in you that is going to help you maximize that you are even given to be able to deal. That is your assignment. So you need to actually know that the power and the first step to every achievement in life is self-awareness. These sets of successful people were able to identify where their powers is and was able to follow it. For the fact that it is not in school, that was what compelled them to leave that school. And of course, most of these people I mentioned, it's not on the same level of our own school system. And over time, I've come to realize that the curriculum that we are using in this part of the world does not suit our mentality, because this curriculum was borrowed from British. So you need to be able to pay attention to a lot of things that we borrow that does not align, that is even stressing us. And that's why you see school children today, they are stressing out themselves, yet they are not making the most out of the education of which that they are sent to school. Right? So you need to start paying attention to the concept of personal development and staying hungry in the game of taking that responsibility to know what it is about yourself. People go through identity crisis. They don't know anything about themselves. It's lack of knowledge of self, because you don't know your strength, you don't know your weakness. Any little thing threatens you because you don't know your powers. Any little thing threatens you. AI is coming. You are feeling like you are lost. Things are changing. Instead of seeing it as an opportunity to be able to go deep, because it's only the competent that compete. Instead of you seeing it as an opportunity for you to go deep into this thing and get best at it and then win no matter what you are trying to do is to make yourself feel so comfortable because of the level where you are, and that is you playing low. And that's one of the things that school most times has hypnotized. It's not intentional, but it just happens, right? It hypnotizes you to actually not take these things very, very important. So it is time for you to wake up for your dreams and see that that carryover you are having in school does not make you a failure. It's dealing with yourself esteem already, and it's winning capacity in you to actually win in anything. Maybe the course is not for you, but that is why and the reason you should be able to unravel what that thing is, in order to be able to find strength, draw strength, and see the passion to be able to build up on yourself. Most of the time when people see me as someone that is very foolish, it gives me more the reasons and a stronger compelling drive to actually prove them wrong. Who do you want to prove wrong? And how many successful people have proved you wrong, that you don't need to actually succeed in school to actually succeed in life? So it's one of the ways that with the winning mindset I shared with you, the second thing is for you to understand that the hunger for knowledge beyond the four walls of an institution is your personal responsibility. And that is what education is truly. It is not what school is, it is what education is. Understand the difference. That's why I said education is personal. So education is that particular time you begin to unravel who you are, that helps you shape your identity. Because while you are struggling with identity crisis, is that you know nothing about yourself. You need to be able to draw that source when you are engaging personal development. That's why people will advise you to go for events, personal development, whatever, go for mentorship. Why? Because that is where you develop the discipline of understanding who you are and be able to reveal into yourself what it is you are called to do. But because the school system have made it, oh, it's medicine, it's law, it's engineering, you took that course and over time you are failing. You are not even passionate. There's nothing that excites you anymore in this thing again. And so you are feeling like a failure. See, you're not in the right place. That feeling is dealing with the time you need to start building on the passion for what you are called to do. So this is the time. It's not tied to a school system. It is tied to the mentality. You need to get into the environment of true education, which you have to make that personal decision to actually start training yourself beyond the four walls of an institution. That your subject, you will struggle to read if you focus on reading the subject course that helps you to pass your exams without passing in life. I'm telling you the truth. And the moment you begin to study self, the next time you go back to those subjects, you will understand it better. I'm telling you. Now, I can be able to relate because when I was teaching in a secondary school, physics and mathematics, and I came to understand because I've left the school, I've experienced life in one or two ways. And when I came back and I started teaching them that mathematics and physics, some of the laws of motion, some of the Archimedes principle, they started making a lot of sense to me. Why? Because I've gone out to be able to see life for what it is. There is a way now I see life. And when I went back to actually study, you will see how important those subjects are. But because our focus is just bending down to read our subject, we don't look around us to connect the dots and be able to see why we should even study in the first place. That's why we are losing the passion to win. So it is time for you to understand that failure in school is not failure in life. It has to be with you identifying where your powers is and making every conscious decision in educating your way into actually winning in life, because life is going to reward those who have come alive, and it is time for you to come alive. The essence, we are building confident global champions, and I can't wait to be able to share your testimony to the world. While you type CGC in the comment section, or you take the opportunity right on your screen. If you have any question, of course, leave them in the comment section. I'm going to respond to them. Or if you want to be able to follow up on what we are doing, of course, hit the subscribe button. All right, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And of course, I'm going to see you in the next one. Till then.